don't make yourself, don't be mad at yourself, don't judge yourself, because it really does. It takes time to get accustomed, especially to swapping languages, because that's what you're doing, is you have to go through one language to do this one. And sometimes you can do it like this. Sometimes you're sitting there going, okay, well, what word am I thinking? What sign am I thinking?
Yeah, I was like, how did I say this? I forgot this was game. Like, I just,
and like, that's why I always say, a lot of times what's really nice is a lot of deaf people are very understanding, and they're just happy you put forth effort to try, and they're usually very like appreciative. And so most of the time they don't judge, and a lot of times they'll help. Like, even now with me, like, I have coworkers who are deaf, and I will literally be in a conversation with them. And I will, one time, it was such a long day. It was just one of those days where it was just so much was happening. And I was just letting it out. I was just like venting to one of my coworkers, because it's the one that I'm like besties with. And I couldn't sign anything right. I kept going. I was like, that's wrong. I'm like, oh, and I just sat there like this. My fingers were curled. I couldn't get myself to like sign it right. And I looked and I was like, it's been, and I even said, I was trying to say it's been a long day. I said, it's been a long time. And I was like, and I just sat there like this. I was so mad at myself that I couldn't fully come out with it. And she understood. She was like, she looked at me, she goes, I feel that. Like, and so it's like,
here's my other question. How do I say, like, I didn't want to assume that he knew ASL because he was wearing hearing aids, and like, I've never seen him. I mean, I've seen him plenty of times at like parent teacher or school events, and I've never seen him sign or anyone sign to him. And, I've seen him speaking to people. So I could only assume that the issue was that it was so loud in the gym. But like, how do you say, do you sign? Or is that something like?
No, that's like a good question to have, because a lot of people, that is actually kind of an interesting thing, is like, a lot of times we assume if they're deaf, it means they know ASL. Not a lot of times, very few times that can be where it's not the case. Like, I know someone who is deaf. She has a cochlear and a hearing aid, and she just was learning sign like the same time I was. Like, I met her because like our dads know each other. Like, they worked together before at some point. And we were like going to an Auburn football game, and she went to Auburn. And so I was real excited, because this was like before I had gone to like school to started working, I guess, when I was like in college myself. And I was like, I get to meet a deaf person. Oh, that's going to be awesome. Yes. And I went with like my mom, my dad, we all three went. And when I saw the girl, I immediately started, I was signing like, hi, my name's blah, 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 blah. And she was like, she literally did this. I was like, whoa. And I heard her go, my like name. And she was, so she had to slow down. Like, she was doing it really like, my name. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I was so ready. And so there are cases like that. And what you can do is you can, obviously, like, one of the first questions, but since you know it, like, you skip ahead, is like, are you deaf or are you hard of hearing? Is you can go, can you sign, which is like, you do sign.
Oh, sign. Okay.
Sign or sign. Either one works. Okay. Like, this one is kind of more, I don't even know how to say it, but this is more like basic, like, sign, but then this is sign. And then
so I could just be like, you sign.
And then you go, you sign, or you sign can. It's like two fists can.
Can. Okay.
Can.
Okay.
And, most of the time,
I'm going to try that. Okay.
Yes.
You sign can.
Yes.
Okay.
Because most of the times you're going to get two responses. One, yes, and they're going to start signing really fast to you, and you're going to,
and I'll be like,
slow down. Yeah. Or they're going to look at me and go, what? Like, they're going to vocally tell you.
Either way, I'll know.
Exactly. So, but it never hurts. And some people, like, they'll have the hearing aids, and they voice for, like, they've learned speech, but they know ASL. And a lot of times I've had people who they have to voice, and then like they'll talk to someone who knows sign, and you see a whole change in personality. It's like, oh, and they're signing away like crazy, and you're like, okay, wow, I wasn't expecting that. But
right.
So
hey, I have a plan.
Yes. Yes. And you can do this. I know you can. It's the
Yep, I'm
nerve-wracking,
excited.
but
And we can commiserate over Alabama football too. So
yes, well, I'll give you the sign for Alabama, the actual sign for like
oh,
Alabama. It's nothing any special. It's like just the initials, but I'm gonna give you that because
okay.
I know. Yeah. So we're gonna so getting started, what we'll do is we're gonna do if my iPad, okay, no, my iPad is just being very finicky and won't stand up right now for some reason. And my phone balances on it, so it keeps falling. Okay, here we go. So what we're gonna do right now is we are going to do this class. Well, wait a minute, Miss Katie, I have a question. I lost count. How many classes do we have left after this? One. Okay, that's what I thought. But then I was like losing myself with looking at it. I do this like right around like the 5th, 6th, 7th class. I'm always like, which one are we on now? Like, so, okay, just checking. That's perfect. Okay. What we're going to do tonight is we are going to actually kind of do a whole, I'm going to do umbrella of different kind of things. So one's going to be like action, like verbs sort of deal with like asked, told, said, repeat, need, can, act, those kinds of things. Then we'll have some like objects like tables, chairs, desks, those kinds of things. I love how I'm saying just those kinds of things, but yeah. And then we're also going to do jobs, so like different types of jobs. And I think, and then there's just a few kind of random signs here and there that I think are beneficial. So that's what we're going to do tonight. It's going to be a little all over the place, but I think these are signs that a lot of people actually be like, oh, I actually might need that, or that would be really helpful. So, I was thinking that when we were talking is that we've talked about sports. Do y'all remember, have we discussed any sports and like the different types of sports there are? Because we can do that one as well. Because there's so many, but some of them are like signed and some of them are finger spelled. We can go over those as well. I was trying to remember when we talked about football, I was like, have I given y'all football? I was like, I'm gonna give it tonight. So let me add that real quick so I have that at the bottom, just sports. Okay. Alrighty. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna do the different types of jobs. The first sign we do is the sign for work. Really, there's not a sign for job. You just fingerspell job, but you can use the sign work. Like, you know what I mean? Like how like in English we'll say, well, my job is blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, you can also like, my job is taking care of children. And I could be like, well, I work as a teacher. It's that same sort of thing. So you can still use it for that. So the sign for work is 2 fists. Your non-dominant sideways, your dominant goes on cross, like your palm will tap it, work. And you want to make sure you tap it, outward, work. And then we have, so of course I have to get this one because it's me, is teacher. So the sign for teacher is the sign. Well, let me explain this real quick because you'll notice this as we go through. A lot of signs have, what they do is they take the verb or the noun or whichever of that word, and then they add the sign person or person. You can do P, it's like it's supposed to be P's for person or just open hand person. And they just kind of add that on. So it's kind of a nice kind of little hopeful thing. So for teacher, you do the sign teach, which is teach. So it's closed. It's almost like hand puppets, and then you just kind of bounce them forward. Teach. Teach or teacher. Teacher. Then we have librarian. Excuse me. And so that would be the sign for library. So our L in a circle, and then person, librarian. Then we have artist. So then we use the sign for art, which is our pinky, and we make our little swirls on our canvas. Art is, artist. Then we have engineer. So engineer does have, it doesn't have that at the end most of the time, What I've seen and what I use is the sign like you use for measure. And so you put two Y's together, engineer. And most of the time, if I'm saying please measure that, you're not going to think please engineer that. Like I want, and you know what I mean? And so then if I'm saying, well, oh yeah, my brother, he's becoming an engineer, like, it kind of makes it's those logical sense that kind of happen. So engineer. Then we have lawyer. So the sign for law is your dominant's in an L, and you're going to go L, L. Yes. Lawyer. So law person. Doctor doesn't add the person either. And so the sign for doctor is doctor. Doctor. It's like you bend your hand and then you tap where your pulse is. Yeah, doctor. Some people do the D. Most of the time, it's one of those situations I think I've talked about in previous class where we have some signs that are ASL and then some that are a little more signed exact English, where it's a little specific with those hands like that. P for person. Not necessarily wrong, it's just a different way. So doctor, doctor. Then we have nurse. Nurse is also not going to add person. It's two fingers into your palm again. Nurse. Then we have student, which I know I'm like, everyone's like, well, probably I'm already out of college. I'm not a student, but it could always be helpful to have. So the sign for student is going to be learn. And so learn is palm up. You're going to start kind of like, you're almost going to make a jellyfish. So you're going to pull up into your forehead. I was just thinking about just a jellyfish. So then you do learn, person, student. Then chef. Normally you can do cook. Cook, it's just kind of going back and forth. You can add that person, cook or chef, but most of the time I don't see that. Again, not wrong. It's just a different way. Okay. So those are all, I know it's a very short list of different jobs. Businesswoman or businessman. So the sign for business is you're going to have two B's. One's going to be sideways. And then you're going to have your B make big motions back and forth. Yeah. Business. So if you're a business person, business person. Let's see. Oh, because I'm realizing that's a very short list. I'm adding president. Business. Sorry, I'm adding business person because that wasn't already on here. Then we have president. So president is like you're almost making, I wanted to say antlers, but it's not really antlers. It's like bull horns. President. So you like start here like the open, like you're doing the horns, and then you're coming outward. President. President. So if you were talking about like a business or a company, like you're the president, you would go like business, me, president. And then let's see. If you were just like a plain, okay, wait, sorry, more's hitting me as I'm thinking. Therapist. So therapist is going to be, my phone will type, there we go. Therapist is going to be a T, and you're going to like, almost like how we have help, but you're going to do a T. Therapist. Therapist. Then we have counselor. So counselor is going to be the sign for counsel. So the sign for counsel is you have your non-dominant cross. Counsel is going to be that hand puppet. It's going to be like a backwards jellyfish. Counsel. Counselor. All right. Are there any other, I'm trying not to do all the jobs that I would think of with my school, because that's not going to pertain to all of y'all. Are there any other signs, jobs you guys can think of that you would like to know the sign for? Like I said, a lot of them, when you get really specific, can be very just finger spelling. I'm trying to think of something that would be like an example of that. Well, okay, manager. There we go. And that's not finger spelled one. Sorry, I was like, it just hit me. I was like, oh, manager. So the sign for manager is going to be 2 X's, and you go manage person. So this is sign for manage, control, person. If you were going to have server, you would do serve, so open hand, same motion, server, server. Let's see, I'm trying to think of some other ones. Any others you guys can think of? Any jobs? Let's see. I'm trying really hard not to do school ones, but it's so easy, it's like, well, I can just sit there and think about all the people I see. Well, what we'll do is right now, I know there's still more, but what we'll do is we'll just go on ahead. Let me let my dogs in real quick. I'm sorry, they're outside and they're scratching at the door and they will make a lot of noise. So give me 1 second. There we go. Sorry about that. All righty. So, I opened up the chat and it like expanded and covered the entire screen for a minute. That's why I made a weird face. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to do basically just kind of a branch of different signs that are not really, I could label under one sort of thing. It's just, here's some signs that I think would be beneficial for y'all. So the first one is medicine. So the sign for medicine is going to be your middle finger, and you're going to have it near your palm again, and you shake it. Medicine, medicine. And that's for like any type of medicine, like liquid or pill medicine kind of stuff. If you were trying to be like, no, I actually like, I take a pill or something, you would just kind of make that motion of like pill. So, but medicine would get the point across as well. Then we have please. So the sign for please is open hand, please. And you make a circle motion, please. The sign for sorry is in the same position, same motion, but now with an S, sorry. Then we have good. So I think we did good with good morning, but we're going to do it again, good. So good will, most of the time you want to have it where it hits the back of your hand. Because like the difference is that you have thank you and good, but you can just be like good. Like if I'm asking, hey, did those papers get sent out? And someone goes, yeah, I'll be like, good. You can do that too. But this is technically good is the sign. Good. Then we have bad. And so bad is going to be that same motion, but now you turn it. So you see how like with good, we left it palm up. Bad, you change it. Bad. Bad. Then we have nice. So nice is nice, which I think we did with nice. Did we do nice to meet you? That's what I thought. Okay, just checking. So we have our nice. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Then we have sick. So the sign for sick is you're going to have your 2 middle fingers. One's on your forehead. One's kind of like above your stomach. You can't really see. Like, I'm not good at anatomy. I can't really tell. Yeah, like, I mean, it's like, it's below your chest, but above your stomach. And it's sick. Sick. Then, okay. So then we have beautiful. So the sign for beautiful is beautiful. Like open hand, and then you close. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yep. Then we have, I love adding this one in just because since we said beautiful, you can also say ugly. So ugly is going to be, you start with like your finger below your nose and you go ugly. You pull it back. Yeah, ugly. If you want to say something is really ugly. Like that sweater is, ooh, that is ugly. You can go ugly with like both. Yeah. So like saying, well, that's ugly. That's like, this is like saying that is like, oh, that is so ugly. So do with that what you have. I do not want anybody coming back to me saying you were insulting them. So just do it carefully. Then we have, I think we've already done deaf, I believe. Have we done? I mean, have I shown y'all the sign for deaf? I see. I blend them together. Yeah, you're in the right position. Yeah, deaf. So deaf's gonna start like you. I have seen people start from the back of the ear and go in the mouth. I tend to start from the mouth and go back to the ear. Deaf. Mm-hmm. And then we have hearing. So the sign for hearing is hearing. You just kind of make like circular motions, yeah, above your mouth, hearing. Then we have hard of hearing. So hard of hearing is going to be those H's and you go hard of hearing. H, H. Okay. Now we're on to more of like sort of action, sort of just kind of the basic ones that you would do verb wise. So the first one is said/say. That's the same sign and it's say. I said, please stop. I said, I'm going. Most of the time, there's not that big difference between say and said. It's just if you really need to show like you said it before, like it's finished, like I said, stop, finished, you add like that finish at the end. And that'll tell you that this is done. Then we have tell. So tell is going to be, you start from your chin, tell, tell, tell. And that is again directional. So like what we did a couple of weeks ago when we did pronouns, where if I'm talking to someone, like I'm saying my refrigerator right here is someone, and I want them to tell the cabinet right there something. I'm not going to go tell. I'll be like, tell them, you tell them, whatever. So you want to make sure whoever you want to be told, like I'm telling you, you want to make sure they're at the other end. All right. Then we have ask. So ask has got two different signs. One is ask. 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 Yep. Ask. The other one is just the sign for question, basically. And it's question. You make like a question mark. Yeah. So like if I'm gonna say, hey, I want you to ask her something, I'd be like, I want you to ask. You can also do ask. This one's more, I've noticed this one being used now. Doesn't mean it can't be, it's just I've noticed it more. This one more will be used for like needing like a favor. So like ask her to please whatever, or those kinds of things. Whereas like this is like a question like, hey, can you ask him a question? Okay, what's your name? Stuff like that. Ask. If you were gonna say like you're asking me a question, like are you asking me a question? You do the ask. Like, well, you can do asking a question, me ask or something like that. But if you're saying like someone keeps asking you questions, you do questions like this. Like you keep coming at you with those like question marks. Yeah. Question. That's usually used. A lot of teachers tend to say that because we have very nosy children who love a lot of questions, especially I do. I have a very chatty group this year and they love asking questions. And I'll look at them and go, you guys are asking me so many questions, I can't even like respond. Like, so. All right. Then we have respond or answer, which I just did. And it's respond. So you have your dominant pointer finger like at your chin, and then you kind of just go down, respond. All right, then we have need. So the sign for need is an X, and you go need. You tap need. That's also like saying must. Like I need, must go. The slight difference I think I've noticed when I do it, especially is I'll go must, that one need. You need to go. Because, sometimes you're saying, well, I need to do this. Or no, you need to stop. Or you need it, there's like the kind of like, this is like a finality kind of thing. So like if you tap it once, like that's almost like serious. Double tap, like, yeah, I need that. It's not as serious, but that's not like big things. That, and it also could just be like, that's just how I do it, because I tend to like to really show there's a difference between what I'm trying to say. Because, you know, in like how we do when we voice, you know, and you're talking to a kid or you're talking to someone and you're talking a very bubbly, happy voice, like, well, I need you to stop, or I need this to finish, you know, and then there's, I need you to stop, like, need, you know, so those sort of things. Then we have can. So the sign for can, which I showed earlier, is those two fists, can. Then for can't is two fingers, can't. You just kind of like hit it. Yeah, can't. Then for like I like this. You do your middle finger and your thumb and you go like. I'll turn sideways. You start kind of like open and then you like pinch. Like. Like. If you don't like, there are two ways you can do it. One is doing not that thumb under your chin and flicking forward. That's for any type of like not, don't sort of thing. So not like, I don't like. Or you can do like and then throw it away. Don't like. Then we have want. So want is open hands and you turn to like slightly curled up. Want. Want. If you don't want, you can again do the same thing. Don't want or don't want. Like don't want. Like you throwing it down. Like I don't want this. Don't want. I do see more I don't want like with the not than this, but it's still, you can still use it. Okay. Then there was one we just did. Stop. I kept sitting there going, I keep saying the word stop. I don't think I've ever told you guys the sign for stop. So the sign for stop is palm up, and then your dominant is going to go slam down. Stop. Stop. So like if you're just trying to tell someone like, you know, please stop, can you come back or something like that, you can be like, stop, wait, stop, hold, those sort of things. Okay, now let's see the next thing. I know I'm going kind of fast and I'm sorry. Are y'all good? Are y'all still doing good? Okay. Some classes will be like, what are you doing? Stop, I need a moment. Other classes like, oh yeah, come on, keep coming. And I sometimes have to be careful with which one I'm at. And I thought you guys were the ones that are like, yep, let's keep going. I always want to check on you. So the next one we're going to do is sports. So the first sign is the sign for sports, and it's sports. You have thumbs and you just kind of bounce them back and forth. Yeah, sports. Then, and I'm adding them since this isn't on the list. That's why you see me typing in a distance, is me typing on my phone, adding them. So I make sure I get them right, get them all. So then the next one we have is game. So game. And then let's now get into the actual, well, I'll give you the sign for champ, like champions, like we're the champ. It's champ. Pointer finger, thumb, three fingers, you bend them a little, you come on top, champ. Champ. Then we're going to now get into the sports. So the first one I have is football, because, you know, we are in the South, we are in Alabama. It's a very big deal. So the sign for football is football. You have like open hands and you go football. And the image, like I always think of, is like the teams, opposing teams coming together and like coming to attack each other. So football. Then we have baseball. Baseball is really easy. It's baseball. So like you have a bat, baseball. Then we have soccer. So soccer is going to be like it's going to be two B's and you go soccer. You have like your non-dominant coming in. It's almost like it's kicking, soccer. Soccer. Then we have basketball. Basketball is going to be those three fingers, basketball. It's almost that image of like holding a basketball and throwing it up to like make a shot, basketball. Then we have volleyball. Sorry, let me add these real quick before I forget. Okay, So volleyball is going to be, there's two ways. I've seen this one more often. So you're going to have, almost you're making those eights and you're going to flick your fingers up, volleyball. Or volleyball. I've seen like people do this, but this makes me think more like pushing. So I tend to just also do this one. Everyone else I see does this way. So volleyball. Then let's see. What did I forget? Oh, wait. I'm looking at my list trying to make sure what else I forgot. All right. For, what is it? Oh, I had a sport. I had one. There's obviously so many. So, for, oh man, what is it? Golf would be the motion of like how we would do what you would think of, golf. Yeah, golf. Frisbee is frisbee, like that motion of holding a frisbee and tossing it. Yeah, frisbee. Let's see, because I know there's like frisbee competitions and stuff. Any other sports you guys can think of? I'm trying to think of the ones. Since our school's small, we don't have that many sports. We have a few, but we just don't have as many. So I'm sitting here trying to remember what like we had in high school, and like the list keeps kind of like, I think we'd hit them. But any other sports y'all can think of? Nope. All right, perfect. So what I'm gonna do, well, since we're already in the sports, I figured I might as well give you the sign for Alabama. So the sign for Alabama is you just do A-L-A. Alabama. And you just you get to that point where you do it faster, Alabama. It's just going A-L-A, back and forth. Yep, Alabama. Most of the states are you do their initials. So like for Georgia, it's a G-A, Georgia. I just do it fast because once you kind of pick up that motion, you can kind of just do the pace. Oh yeah, Georgia, Georgia won the game, whatever. And then you have like Tennessee, which is like the T-E-N-N. Florida's that F-L-A. Mississippi's M-I-S-S. So it's almost like it's not the full state initials like we have. Some are like Rhode Island, R-I. Oh, excuse me. Or Massachusetts, like M-A. But then you do have a lot that they'll do like the 4 letters, especially for like ones like Tennessee and Mississippi, those kinds of things. So, and then if you're an Auburn fan, like my family, you finger spell Auburn. I have seen someone say Auburn, but because this is time for college. You like start kind of in that nice motion and you curl up, like see, college. And some schools will have like their name signs connected with that. So like Auburn. Not always one that most people would know because it is just very much for like that school or for that specific area. So like here at my school, like we do have Auburn and Alabama because that's a big thing where, in Alabama. So, because like my school was like an M for Montevallo, that M, but if I went up north and I was talking to someone there and it's like, oh yeah, I'm from I went to Montevallo. I can promise you someone's going to look and go, what school? M? Like there's like 40 schools that start with M. So that's just kind of like a regional thing. But all righty. The next thing I have, I'm adding Alabama to this list. I keep adding more and more to this. Is where are we? Okay, so like objects, like actual just things. So, and this one's going to keep getting bigger and bigger. I just know it because I'm already looking at it going, no, there's more than that. So the first one I have is chair, and then it also has sit with it. So chair is going to be your 2 fingers, and you go chair. You like tap them on top, one on top, and chair. The sign for sit is 1. Sit. So chair, sit, chair, sit. And that's something you'll again notice as we kind of do some other signs that have things like that. Well, you probably won't notice because there's not that many. But like, you know, when we did food and, you know, it was eat, food, those kind of motions. You use that one to show like the action. The two is to show the noun, kind of that sense. So then the next one I have is table. So table is table, 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 yep. Then we have pen / pencil, because they are the same sign, and it is like you just pretend like you're writing on something. Yep, pencil. That's also the sign for write. The difference would be how you would ask. So if you're like, do you have a pen? Like that's where I would be like, pen you have, or need a pen. Like I need a pen. That kind of thing would help with like kind of being clear rather than just saying write, like I'm writing or something like that. So then we have the sign for trash, like trash can, trash. And it is going to be, I'm lifting up my elbow high. You start with the pointer kind of like mid of your elbow, and then you tap down to your elbow. Trash, trash. Yep. I was really surprised when I learned that one because I don't know, I just thought it'd be something else than that. Like that just threw me. So I remember that was like a hard one to remember for me. I was like, I just can't, like nothing connects with that. No, there's no picture with me for that. So then we have window. So the sign for window is going to be window, window. And the cool thing is if you were trying to tell someone to open or close the window, you don't have to make the sign for, you don't have to sign the word open or sign the word close, which I'll give you all later. I mean, it's really, there's not one because it's so involved with the sign. But so if you were going to say like open the window, you go open. So you like kind of tap small and then you go big to show open. If you want the window closed, you'd go close. Please close, like close the window. Close. Then we have door. So door is going to be 2 B's and you're going to open, and you're only going to open one unless you're trying to do like a grand entrance, which I mean, you can do, but like most of the time it's one door, you know, open. And this is also the sign for open. A door is like open, open, or close. So very visual, which I love. I think that's kind of cool. I don't know. I'm just that person though. There's another one that made me think of that. Ooh, we have window, we have door. Oh, I forgot one. Sorry. I had like with a window, door. There's another one. Lights. So the sign for light is going to be you're going to make like an 8 and you're going to flick under your chin. And this is a sign for light, just any type of light. I will say for like, if you're trying to describe, because we have the video, color videos was sent out. If you were trying to describe like a light blue, you can use this. It's not technically right. And the reason I say you can is because most people tend to use it. I see it a lot at school. But if you're talking to an older deaf person, they will correct you and tell you it is not light. Because they'll ask you. I had one, she was very sweet and I loved her, but she looked at me, she goes, your light bulbs? She was like, your light bulbs, they're blue? And I was like, no, like, and I kept trying to think of how to describe it. And I was just so confident. And then I was like, and I was with like one of my college teachers too. And she was like, she's teasing you. And I was like, I know, but like, I got caught with it. And so technically they do more like bright, but I'm not, you know, in my mind, I'm like, well, light, I'm so accustomed to it. Light, like light blue. I'm just telling you now, like, if you want to use, like, for light blue, you can. Just be wary that if you do say it and someone corrects you, I didn't tell you that this was technically it. I'm just saying it is used for it. So, or light. But that, like I said, this is normally for actual like light, so like light bulbs and stuff. If you want lights on or lights off, what you do is you go lights on. So it's like that motion. So you start like where the 0 and then flash. And if you want them off, you go lights off. Lights off. I think it's just kind of cool, you know, because it's so visual, like it's just that motion of it. Let me add that. Okay. If for open or close, like I was saying, a lot of times, like if you're trying to ask, like, can you open that? I'm trying to think, like if you're having like a drink, open, 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 close. Trying to see, like usually with like refrigerators or ovens, you know, it's the same thing, open or close, open, close, those kinds. So it's very almost like actions sort of deal. Then this is what I was forgetting. Water bottle. That's a big one. So, and also just kind of cup in general. So the sign would be for cup, it's just cup, cup. I think we did drink before. I mean, drink's very obvious. It's just drink, drink. If you're talking about a water bottle, you still do that water cup, water cup. All right, let's see. I'm looking at my list. Okay, so those are my signs. I thought that's like all it was. It kind of dropped suddenly. Not suddenly. I moved mine around and I went ahead to sports, and then I was like, well, I need to go back to these. And I was like, okay, next one. And I looked, just like, no, we had done that one already. So that's why I meant like it dropped suddenly for me. Are there any other objects? I mean, obviously there's so many that, you know, I mean, there's a million different objects. There we go. I was like, give me the ones that you guys want to know. Because if it's not really gonna be something you use, I don't want to give it. I mean, I'll give it to you, but I don't want to just like focus on those. So the sign for bed is bed, bed. The sign for pillow is like pillow, like you're actually like kind of like that motion pillow, but like bed, room. I want my bed. That blanket. So sign for blanket is blanket. Like you have your like your top and your bottom sideways, and you kind of just like, I'll stand up real quick. If my dog, I don't boop him. Sorry, he's like right behind me. Let's do blanket. Blanket. I thought that one was like so strange. I was ready for such a sweet, cute little one, and then I got blanket. And I was like, okay. So any other objects or something like that you guys can think of that you would like, that you use more often, or you see more often, that would be helpful. I don't think I've done book, so I mean, I think you should know it, but I'm just kidding. But book, yeah, book. I had to check. I never know. Sometimes I'm like, some people are like, oh yeah, book, and then some are like, what would that be, you know? And so I have to, I'm like, movie. Okay, so the sign for movie is movie. Well, movie. You like have your B. It's almost like our business, but now it's this, and you go movie. You can do the B. I keep doing B, I know, but it's really just movie. If you noticed from when we did food, cheese is very similar to that. That was like the biggest struggle for me in high school, was learning which is the difference between movie and cheese, because I would sit there and I'd watch my teacher sign this, and I'm like, is that cheese or is that movie? And I would sit there ready, because like we'd be taking a test and she'd be signing up front. I'm like, okay, well, first 5 signs she did were all food related, so I'm gonna go with cheese or stuff like that. Usually cheese, what I do is I do that palm back and then move it far, like it's almost like it's further bent. You see cheese, and then for movie, it's movie, like more up closer. You see what I mean? So like I'm almost like being dramatic that this is back, it's cheese, and then movie. If you were going to name a movie, like do a movie title, the sign for title, like quotes, is title. It's like 2 X's, title, title. That's also like quotes as well. Unfortunately, when you're doing movie titles, it's actually proper to just fingerspell the whole movie out. That being said, there are some very long movie titles out there. And a lot of people will do is they'll do the signs for whatever parts of that movie are. I'm trying to think of a movie that's like a good example, like A Wrinkle in Time. Okay. I know that's not that long, but like, to fingerspell wrinkle in time, that kind of thing, is some people will do like they'll fingerspell wrinkle and they'll go like in time. They'll add that time. Most of the time it's best just to do the fingerspelling because that is the actual proper way to do it. It's not the end of the world if you did do that, like you did do a sign like time or something like that. So, because I promise you, movies like, I'm trying to even think of one that's a really long name, like Anastasia or Fantasia. I know there's like kid movies, but like I'm thinking like those fingerspelled ones are just so especially when like you have to sit there and like get your hand to sign certain letters. It's not fun. I struggle with that a lot. I get really mad at myself because my finger spelling, like, it's not that I'm doing it wrong. It's just, if you notice, I talk fast, I sign fast. And unfortunately, ASL is not my first language. And I struggle already in English, which is my natural first language. ASL will have a lot more struggles, especially when I'm trying to just finger spell. My hand is like ready to go to like the next 3 letters ahead. And I'm like, you've missed 3 in the middle. We cannot do this. So I have to like hold my hit, like my fist to like make myself ANASCAS. Like I have to do it or I will just spell the wrong thing every time. So, okay, we have 10 minutes left. So what I'm going to do is, because I feel like this was a good amount, I'm going to let you guys have the opportunity to ask me any questions or ask for any other signs. If you don't have any, what we can do, can you stop? Sorry, my dog, he like nudged me with his nose being all dramatic. And I just was like, shh, he just ate. I heard him, like that was him eating earlier. I'm like, dude, you're fine. He's spoiled rotten. But anyways, what I was gonna say is we could just finish, like if you don't have any kinds of questions or any signs that you guys would like to know, we could finish early or we could review. I'm gonna leave it kind of up to you guys since it's the last 10 minutes of class. What would y'all prefer?
The sign for police officer and firefighter.
Okay, perfect. So the sign for police officer is going to be police, that like 1C police. You can do police person, like police officer. Most of the time when you do police, like I met the police or I met a police officer, both would be right in that situation. So it can't just be this or police person. Firefighters, that same motion, firefighter. You can do again fireman, like fire person, or you could just do firefighter. Those are, neither one would be wrong. So I wanted to add, you're typing, I'm gonna let you do it first and then I'll add mine. Oh, excuse me. Sign for more. Okay, that's perfect. That's like such a, I want to say, not saying like it's such a basic sign that I can't believe I always forget to show people, because it's one of the ones that people teach kids early on. So the sign for more is you're going to make like slightly, you're not full zeros, you're not full hand puppets, but like slightly open, more. And you just have more. And that's like any type of more. So like I need more, like I made myself laugh. I'm sorry, I was about to say I need more, like more homework. I was like, my kids will never say that. What was that coming out? But like I need more papers or I need more juice or drink, those kinds of things, more. The one I was gonna say is the sign for no and don't know. I don't think I showed y'all that. And that one can be helpful in conversation. So no is no. No, it's like you bent your hand, yeah, no. Don't know is don't know. Don't know. You can still do I don't know, like that, don't know, not know. You can do that as well. Like I said, don't know, not know, either way works. Understand. I think that's another good one. Understand. It's just like, it's almost like I think of a light bulb. flickers, like a light bulb turns on when you understand something. Oh yeah, I understand. Or you can do don't understand. I don't understand. Like, I mean, I make that look like I'm as lost as can be. I have no idea what you said. Or you could do don't understand. I don't understand. So let me add those in. So we'll have that on this little list that is really long now. Any other signs you guys can think of while I'm typing these out? Okay, there we go. Any more? I'm trying to think of some ones that are just like not big. Okay. Do you guys have any signs you want to go over? Or are you guys thinking we're good for now? Y'all thinking we're good for now? Okay. So we'll end a little early today. Next week's class, what we're gonna do is we are gonna try to actually do a little fun little game and kind of test you guys, challenge yourselves, test and see how well your receptive skills are with them. And then probably at the end, if you guys are feeling confident, some classes do, some classes don't. So that's why I'm saying if you guys are up to it, we can practice where you guys sign stuff and I can tell you what you said, like to see like how you look coming off to someone, because a lot of times people actually have, it's more common for people to struggle with expressing themselves rather than receptively. It's like they can be like, oh no, I understood what she said, but I can't express, I can't sign it myself. I'm the opposite. I took it and ran with it. I knew how to express like my facial expressions are insane. But then when it came to understanding people, I'd be like, I think my head would start to turn a little like, what? So, but I can always like, just if you want to just practice and see what kind of you feel like you look like when you're signing to someone, I can, see and tell you what if I understood you or any kind of pointers to help out. So we can do that. But alrighty, well, you guys, I hope have an awesome, wonderful rest of y'all's week. And I will see you all next Tuesday. Bye.